Let's now talk about the COP29 summit taking place in Baku, where leaders of nations suffering climate disasters appealed for greater urgency in fighting global warming, while others defended fossil fuels and their right to exploit them. More than 75 leaders are expected to speak over 2 days in Baku, but the heads of many top polluting nations are giving the crunch United Nations climate talks in Azerbaijan capital a miss. The conference comes at a time when scientists say it is almost certainly the hottest year on record, with warming driven mainly by burning coal, oil and gas.
We need clear financial guarantees and significant investment. Large corporations must contribute their fair share to climate protection. Our climate policy should be guided by careful consideration and common sense, not by ideology, alarmism or panic.
We will honour the commitment made by the previous government to provide £11.6 billion of climate finance between April 2021 and March 2026. But we must use public finance as a multiplier to unlock much more private investment and reform our international financial institutions.
We're basically using a model of the world in terms of donor base that dates back to the early 90s. The world has changed a lot. And frankly, the high-emitting countries are not the same today. Some are, but there are new ones that weren't more than 30 years ago. And many of these countries are contributing.
Developed countries need to increase climate ambition and action, take the lead in fulfilling emission reduction obligations, and move up to a timeline for carbon neutrality. Developing countries also need to do our best within our capabilities. The Chinese side will also meet its 2035 nationally determined contributions that are economy-wide and to cover all greenhouse gases in the drive to achieve carbon neutrality before 2060.
If we don't live in tune with sustainability in the next 10 years, we will all fall, and the first to suffer will be those, the middle class and the working classes, because they are the ones that work in the most threatened areas.
It's worth noting that today those who were so concerned about climate enhancement are absent at this conference and moreover sabotage it. And what else will happen after the presidential election in the United States? So the question is, how effective are our actions at such meetings? Once the president of France felt great about the Paris Agreement, and where is this president today? Is it really not relevant? And that's how effective we are. So there's nothing to be proud of.
We are in the midst of a climate crisis. We are in a season of superlatives. And the reality is that these extreme weather events that the world is facing daily suggest that humanity and the planet are hurtling towards catastrophe. The extreme weather requires from us a serious commitment at this COP.
COP29 must tear down the walls of climate finance. Developing countries must not leave Baku empty-handed. A deal is a must, and I'm confident it will be reached. We need a new finance goal that meets the moment.
And while all this happened in Baku, in contrast, a Dutch court has accepted oil company Shell's appeal against a landmark climate ruling, dismissing the order for the oil and gas company to sharply reduce emissions. The original 2021 ruling had ordered Shell to cut its absolute carbon emissions by 45% by the year 2030 compared to 2019 levels, including those caused by use of its products. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.